When you're booking a flight, certain terms can sound deceptively similar. Take non-stop and direct flights. They're often used interchangeably, but here's the thing. They're not the same. If you've ever boarded a direct flight, expecting a straight shot to your destination, only to find yourself stopping in another city, you're not alone in your confusion. Understanding the difference can save you time, frustration, and maybe even a missed connection. So what's the deal? A non-stop flight does exactly what it says. It takes you from your origin to your destination without any stops in between. A flight from New York to Los Angeles that departs and lands without touching down elsewhere is non-stop. Simple, efficient, and often the most desirable option for travelers who want to get there as quickly as possible. A direct flight, on the other hand, can include one or more stops along the way. But here's the catch. It still carries the same flight number throughout the journey. For example, British Airways Flight 15 is nicknamed the Kangaroo Route. It will take you from London to Singapore, make a stop in Singapore, and then continue on to Sydney. Even though you don't have to change planes, in most cases, you'll still spend time on the ground while new passengers board, others disembark, or the plane refuels. This distinction has practical implications. If you book a direct flight expecting the efficiency of a non-stop, you might find yourself frustrated by the added travel time. That extra stop could add hours to your journey, even if you stay on the same plane. The reason airlines offer direct flights with stops is largely about operational flexibility. Smaller markets might not have enough demand to justify a non-stop service, but by routing flights through a hub or another city, airlines can consolidate passengers from multiple origins. For example, a direct flight from Dallas to Honolulu might stop in Los Angeles to pick up more passengers, making the route profitable for the airline. One of the key advantages of direct flights, stops and all, is that they eliminate the need for a connection. If your flight stops in another city, you don't have to navigate a new terminal, change planes, or risk missing your next flight due to delays. Your bags remain checked through to your final destination, and in many cases, you don't even have to leave your seat. But there's a flip side. Those stops can add unpredictability. If weather delays occur at the intermediate stop, or if the airline has a tight turnaround time for refueling and boarding, your travel schedule could be thrown off. Some passengers also find the stopover disruptive, especially on long-haul flights, where you'd rather settle in for the journey than endure the noise and activity of passengers shuffling on and off mid-trip. Non-stop flights, by contrast, are the gold standard for convenience. They minimize travel time, reduce the likelihood of delays, and eliminate the extra hassle of stops. But that convenience often comes at a premium. Non-stop flights tend to be more expensive than direct flights or those requiring connections, as airlines price them for passengers willing to pay for the fastest option. For airlines, offering non-stop flights is a strategic decision. High-demand routes, like New York to London or Tokyo to Los Angeles, can sustain non-stop service because there's enough passenger volume to make the route profitable. However, on less traveled routes, say Istanbul to South America, a direct flight with a stop in a hub like Sao Paulo allows the airline to serve the market without the financial risk of flying half-empty planes. In some cases, what starts as a direct flight can transition into non-stop service over time. As passenger demand grows, airlines may eliminate the intermediate stop to capture more of the market. For example, when Hawaiian Airlines first launched flights to Japan, they included a stop in Honolulu. Over time, the airline began offering non-stop service from select mainland US cities to Japan as demand increased. For passengers, choosing between non-stop and direct flights often comes down to priorities. If time is your most valuable asset, a non-stop flight is almost always the better option. However, if you're looking to save money, or you're flying a route where non-stop options aren't available, a direct flight can still be a practical alternative. One other term often confuses passengers: connecting flights. Unlike non-stop or direct flights, a connecting flight requires you to change planes entirely. This typically involves moving between gates, terminals, or even airports, and there's always a risk of missing your connection due to delays. A direct flight avoids this by keeping you on the same plane, or at least under the same flight number, even if there's a stop along the way. Looking ahead, the rise of ultra-long-haul aircraft, like the Airbus A350-900 and Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, is making non-stop service more viable than ever. These fuel-efficient planes can connect distant city pairs, like Perth to London or Singapore to New York, without the need for stopovers, catering to a growing demand for non-stop options on long-haul routes. As airlines increasingly invest in these aircraft, we're likely to see more non-stop options, even on routes that were once limited to direct or connecting flights. So, the next time you're booking a trip, take a closer look at the flight details. A non-stop flight will get you there in the shortest time possible, but a direct flight with stops might save you some money, or at least spare you the hassle of a connection. Understanding the difference means you can choose the option that best fits your schedule, budget, and travel style. Because in aviation, every term has a purpose, and knowing the difference can make all the difference. YouTube thinks you'll like this video too. Click here to learn more. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.